Okay, so section number 2, removing dust from the garment. And this is very important because I think not too many people know about it. Or they heard about but don't have any idea, like any details. Okay, so removing the dust from the garment. The prohibition. According to some poskim, shaking out the garment to remove the dust or the powder or chalk that it has absorbed can fall under the biblical prohibition of laundering. The same applies to brushing out the dust. Other poskim dispute this and maintain that the removal of the dust does not constitute laundering. Okay, let's do a little further. This poskim agree, however, that one may use the brush to remove dust, may not use the brush to remove. Nor may one shake or rub a garment vigorously, but only shake it lightly or brush lightly with the hand or a dry cloth. So as we see, there is like machlokes between two school of thoughts of our poskim, and of course since at this point we should realize if somebody said it might be biblical, might be a biblical violation, so we have to be stringent, right? Just because there is possibility. But since there is other opinion, right, other more lenient opinion, so in this case, like in case of great need, we can use that opinion. Okay. So again, according to some poskim, shaking out the garment and removing dust or powder of chalk, right? So meaning a person leaned on the wall or something, right? And they had a renovation or something, I don't know. Or it was, I don't know what happened, right? So some dust from outside. Okay, so now his garment is dusty. Okay, according to some poskim, shaking out the garment to remove the dust, the power of chalk, right? Shake, or like this, right? That is absorbed can fall under the biblical prohibition of laundering. So that's a scary thing. But of course, it's like ringing, right? Is it ringing? No, it's not ringing. So I mean, it's scrubbing, I guess. The same applies to the brushing out the dust. So brushing out meaning is an instrument, of course, with a brush, or even with the hand, like how you brush, or with a cloth. We're going to see. Other poskim dispute. So strong, more strict opinion said it is forbidden, right, to shake out the garment or brush it with something, right? Other poskim dispute that this and maintain that removal dust does not constitute laundering. I mean, for me, it's hard to understand this opinion. Okay, there is explanation, but okay, we're not going to go into explanation. But how, the definition of laundry, that something was dirty and now it's cleaner. That's simple definition. So whatever you do. Right, and for sure the dust does not come out by itself. You have to do some actions. Okay. So this poskim agree, however, that one may not use the brush to remove the dust. So okay, so here's we will find some common ground. So they say even though it's not laundry, but to use like special instrument would not be allowed. Nor may one shake or rub garment vigorously. So vigorously, for sure, like that's not allowed, even according to this lenient opinion. But only shake lightly. So whatever falls off, right? Brush lightly with one hand or a dry cloth. So meaning if something was absorbed inside, like between the fibers, it's not going to come out. Just because I go a little lightly, it's not going to come out. Okay. So continue. In practice, we follow the stringent view that forbids dusting altogether. However, the prohibition pertains only to removing dust that is trapped between the fibers, meaning like deep inside. So sometimes you have like some, I don't know, some dust, some particle of dust like on top. For sure, it's not absorbed, but sometimes on top, so you even can blow and it will like fly away. So that's the case. However, the prohibition pertains only to removing the dust that is trapped between the fibers of the fabric. So, simply removing the not adherent surface dust that has not blended into the fabric is not considered laundering. So, meaning we just combine two opinions. So, meaning if it's on top, like it did not become part of the garment in some sense. So to remove it, it's not going to be considered laundry, which is good. Continue. There is an important difference between the previous discussion, prohibited washing fabric with water, and this prohibition of removing of dust. Washing with water is forbidden even if the fabric is only slightly dirty. Right, as mentioned above, in practice, one should not even soak the clean garment in water. By contrast, the dust is forbidden only if the garment is significantly dirty. The fact that determines whether the garment is significant double quotes, dirty, is whether the amount of dust on it is sufficient to deter the owner from wearing it in a normal circumstances. So that would be based on case by case in some sense, right? So meaning this person would not go outside with garment that dusty. If there is so much dust that the garment on the garment that the person would normally choose to wear a different one in its place, removing the dust is considered act of laundering and prohibited. So in this case, for sure, I mean, we're going to review, but for sure, he's improving the garment. But if there is not enough dust to deter the owner from wearing it, its removal is not considered to be act of laundering and is permitted. This determination is based on a personal attitude and every individual and his or her particular case. So meaning that some people are so particular, so like a few pieces of that's it, they're not wearing. Okay. Note that if we would normally wear the garment in its dusted condition on a weekday, but would be deterred from wearing it in honor of Shabbos, removing the dust is not considered acts of laundry and is permitted. We're going to explain all of this. BeEzrat HaShem. If one is in doubt as whether he would normally wear this garment in the dusted condition, the following guidelines apply. If the dust is of dark color, for example, black, brown, navy blue, and the garment is relatively new condition, it is presumable that the dust would deter the owner from wearing the garment. So meaning on darker colors, on the black, it's like you see every like imperfection, right? The owner may therefore not remove the dust. Otherwise, it would presumably not deter him or her from wearing the garment and may be removed. Okay, so let's review this part, and we're going to explain. As you see, there are many details. Okay, so going back. Okay, so we said in practice we have to follow the stringent view, right? Stringent view meaning not to dust, right? Not to dust, but it's only if it's like this dust is set into the fabric. So if it's on top, there is no problem. Okay, so continue. Again, we're going to review what we just said. There is an important difference between the previous discussed prohibition washing the fabric. So we said even if it's little, right, with water, and this prohibition removing of the dust. Washing with water is forbidden even if fabric is only slightly dirty. So we said even clean fabric you're not allowed to put into the water. Right? Wash meaning even soaking. Right in the water. By contrast, dusting is forbidden only when the garment is significantly dirty. So if it's a little dust, and almost invisible, but the person knows, so there is no problem basically. Right. But if it's significantly dirty, so meaning that the person is embarrassed to go outside. Right. So of course we understand it's on individual level. Okay. If there is so much dust that the garment on the garment that the person would normally choose to wear a different one in its place, remove the dust is considered an act of laundry and it is forbidden. So if it's the Sodori person, this specific person, of course, as we learned about clothing that shame the wearer. So it's something like that. Everybody is going to look at the person. He's going to get embarrassed. So that's the situation. So if he's not going to get embarrassed, so it's not dirty, not really dirty. So there is no problem. Right? So meaning that they can brush. They not brush like a brush or try to take out this remove this dust. But if there is not enough dust to deter the owner from wearing it, right? So meaning it's okay. Its removal is not considered the act of laundry and it's permitted. So if you would not wear in this condition, it is forbidden to clean it. If there is no problem, you can go like this, but maybe improving would benefit, no problem. So then you're allowed to dust it. Very interesting. This determination based on a personal attitude and every individual and his or her a particular case. So so that's the thing. But of course, sometimes people do not know, so because we are biased. So I want to go in this suit, for example, but what should I do? Right? Note that one would normally wear the garment in its dusted condition on a weekday, but would be deterred wearing it on honor of Shabbos. Removing the dust is not considered acts of laundry, and it's permitted. So here's a very interesting clause that he added in parentheses that so if in general, like we said, it's like on a personal level. If on a personal level he would wear this garment on a weekday in this condition. So when I have time, I'm going to clean it. Okay, no problem. So but in the meantime, it's wearing. But now he does not want to wear because of honor of Shabbos. So we said on Shabbos we have to have different clothing, right, and everything. But so this does not mean that that he's not allowed to dust it. He is allowed because generally we're going by his general practice, and general practice that he's not so particular on a weekday. Okay, continue. If one is in doubt whether he would normally wear the garment in its dusted condition, so the person never had the situation, right? How do I know? The following guidelines apply. Okay, so let's see. If the fabric is a dark color, so dark color, by default you see everything much clearer. Black, brown, navy blue. And the garment is in relatively new condition. New condition. So person like to keep it new, right? So if it's a worn out garment, usually people don't care as much. It is presumable that the dust would deter the owner from wearing the garment, right? So meaning because it would be very visible. I'm just saying the words. The owner may therefore not remove the dust. Otherwise, it would presumably not deter. Meaning, otherwise, if it's different color, right? Different color garment, so it's not as visible. Not deter him or her from wearing the garment, and maybe he may remove it. Remove dust. Continue. Okay, I have a question about removing the dust. So we did not finish with dust. So just so you know, when determining the garment being significantly dirty, right? Do we judge based on wearing the garment outdoors or at home? That's a very good question. So again, when determined whether the garment is being significantly in Torah, do we judge based on wearing the garment outdoors? No, it's outdoors. So meaning that if a person at home, many people usually do not care, right? Like I give you examples. These things continue shock me every year. So we have this holiday, Tisha B'Av. Right? On Tisha B'Av, we're not allowed to wear leather shoes. Okay, so no leather shoes. So what were you allowed? All canvas shoes, like whatever, not leather shoes, whatever, not leather shoes. Some people come with slippers. And sometimes they're so dirty, or some home shoes. It's I look like you normal. You really have in your house this kind of shoes, and the person is not exactly sleeping in outside. They have a normal life. They can buy new shoes you normal. So meaning in the house, they just do not realize that now they in public, especially in shul, you came in this kind of shoes. Right, or the slippers, ridiculous. Meaning, but you understand that at home or around the house, maybe on the backyard, they would use it, in front yard, whatever they do. But to go to the shul and this kind of things is very embarrassing in my mind. But you understand that they wear them in the house. So meaning here significantly indoor, of course it's outside. So because in the house most people would use some worn out things, there is no problem. Right.